Right, this Iran war has just escalated to a level that should terrify anyone who understands global energy markets and the concept of red lines. Israel says it has killed Iran's intelligence minister Esmail Khatib in a strike on Tuesday, the latest assassination of senior Iranian leadership. This comes one day after killing Iran's security chief Ali Larijani, for which Tehran has vowed revenge. But here is what is truly alarming. Iranian state media reports that the US and Israel struck parts of Iran's oil and natural gas production facilities, including the South Pars natural gas field, the world's largest. If confirmed, this marks the first attacks on Iranian energy production in this war. The US dropped 5,000-pound guided bombs to penetrate missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz. Israel intercepted Iranian missiles. Fresh strikes hit Lebanon. And Iran's IRGC-linked media is threatening to retaliate against oil facilities in Saudi Arabia, UAE and Qatar, declaring the red lines have changed. Let's start with the assassinations, because Israel is systematically eliminating Iran's senior leadership at a pace that is unprecedented. Israel says it killed intelligence minister Esmail Khatib on Tuesday. One day earlier, they killed security chief Ali Larijani. That is two of Iran's most senior officials killed in consecutive days. Tehran has vowed revenge for Larijani's killing. Now they have another high-profile assassination to avenge. This isn't just military targeting, this is decapitation of the regime's intelligence and security apparatus. But the energy facility strikes represent a massive escalation. Iranian state media accuse the US and Israel of attacking parts of Iran's oil and natural gas production facilities, including South Pars, the world's largest natural gas field. Iran's Tasnim news agency reported the strikes, adding damage extent was yet to be determined. They also named Assaluia, which has oil and petrochemical facilities. Iran's Fars news agency, linked to the IRGC, said powerful explosions had been heard from multiple refineries in Assaluia, and that some storage tanks and gas facility areas in different phases had been hit. Staff moved to safe locations, rescue teams working to put out fires. If confirmed, this would mark the first attacks on Iranian oil and natural gas production facilities in this war. Last week, Israel attacked fuel depots storage. Now they're hitting production facilities, the actual infrastructure that extracts and processes oil and gas. An Israeli source told CNN that Israel attacked the Esmail facility. A separate Israeli official said the strike on South Pars was carried out in coordination with the United States. This is America and Israel jointly attacking the world's largest natural gas field. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said Wednesday that attacks in Iran are being stepped up and that significant surprises that will escalate the war are on the way. Israeli sources said Katz meant attacks on Iranian electricity and natural gas infrastructure. So this isn't a one-off strike. This is the beginning of a systematic campaign to destroy Iran's energy infrastructure. And Iran's response, threatening to hit oil facilities in neighboring countries. The IRGC-linked Fars agency described the attacks as changing red lines. They wrote, "From tonight, the red lines have changed. If the enemy thought these attacks could increase pressure on Iran to make it back down, it has made a fatal miscalculation, because this action has fully handed Iran the trump card called retaliation." That is Iran saying all bets are off now. Any restraint they showed previously is gone. Tasnim published an urgent warning for residents of the Persian Gulf region to stay away from oil and natural gas facilities in Saudi Arabia, UAE and Qatar. That is Iran threatening to strike energy infrastructure in countries that have tried to stay neutral or limit involvement. Qatar's foreign ministry spokesman called Israel's attack on facilities linked to South Pars a dangerous and irresponsible step. South Pars is an extension of Qatar's North Field. They share the same reservoir. Strikes on one affect the other. Meanwhile, the US dropped 5,000-pound guided bombs designed to penetrate targets deep underground on Iranian missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz. These are bunker busters meant to destroy hardened facilities that regular bombs can't reach. US Central Command announced this on X, that is America using its most powerful conventional weapons to obliterate Iranian military infrastructure. And the violence is spreading across the region. In Israel, 2 people were killed in an Iranian ballistic missile attack overnight in central Israel. Multiple locations in Tel Aviv struck by falling debris after missiles launched from Iran. In Lebanon, an Israeli airstrike destroyed a high-rise building in central Beirut near Lebanese government headquarters this morning. Israel also warned it would attack crossings on Lebanon's Litani River to prevent Hezbollah transferring weapons south. It is begun doing so. In Iraq, drone and rocket attacks resumed around the US Embassy in Baghdad. In the UAE, an Iranian projectile hit a road near a military base used by Australian forces, causing a small fire. In Saudi Arabia, they intercepted a missile launched toward Al-Kaj, with shrapnel falling near Prince Sultan Air Base. In Kuwait, air defenses struck down hostile missiles and drones overnight. And Trump suggested today that American allies should take sole responsibility for policing the Strait of Hormuz if the US causes the Iranian regime to collapse. European nations have rebuffed his demands to send warships. So Trump is essentially saying, if we overthrow this regime and oil supplies are disrupted, Europe should clean up the mess. And Europe is saying, no thanks, this is your war, you deal with the consequences. Here is the bottom line and why this is so dangerous. Israel killed Iran's intelligence minister Esmail Khatib Tuesday, one day after killing security chief Ali Larijani. Tehran vowed revenge. The US and Israel struck Iran's oil and natural gas production facilities, including South Par's world's largest gas field. First attacks on energy production this war, multiple refineries in Esmail hit with fires burning. Israeli defense minister says more escalation coming, targeting electricity and gas infrastructure. Iran's IRGC media says red lines have changed and threatens retaliation against Saudi, UAE, Qatar oil facilities. US dropped 5,000-pound bunker busters on Iranian missile sites. 2 killed in Israel from Iranian missiles. High-rise destroyed in central Beirut. US embassy in Baghdad attacked, Iranian projectile hit UAE near Australian base. Saudi intercepted missile, Kuwait shot down drones. Trump says Europe should police Strait if regime collapses. Europe refuses. We have systematic assassination of Iranian leadership. First strikes on energy production facilities. Iran threatening to retaliate against neutral countries' oil infrastructure. The world's largest gas field under attack. IRGC saying red lines have changed. And Trump telling allies to clean up the mess while they refuse to participate. Oil markets should be in absolute panic. If Iran makes good on threats to strike Saudi, UAE, Qatar facilities, global energy supplies face catastrophe beyond anything seen so far. This isn't just war anymore. This is energy infrastructure warfare that could devastate the global economy. This has been The Royal Truth. I'll see you next time.